Unpopular opinion. Griselda on Netflix is, let's just say y'all hyped it up. Hi, I'm Shannan Johnson, CEO of The Professional Pen, where we develop screenwriters from idea to pitch. Need help in your screenplay? Go to www.theprofessionalpen.com. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, Sophia's doing her thing. You have to give props where props are due. Secondly, it's not a terrible show. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Everyone's giving all of the, oh my gosh, it's so great. Oh my gosh, she's such a badass, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's just critique story. So let's talk about a few of the things that are sticking out to me. One of the biggest things for me is tone. And this could totally be done on purpose. I personally like shows that are really grounded, that allow the tension to kind of sit in it. And because she's known as this badass, I really expected for the grind to be a little slower. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to take their time. And instead, everything is moving so quickly that it appears that things are coming easy to her. In the first episode, she just shows up to the place where the drug dealers are. How does she know where they're going to be? How can she even get into this club? Now, look, I don't live in Miami, but it seemed like a decently well-to-do place, right? How did she get in there? How was she on the list? How did she know where to go? By the end of that episode, she already has an in. So of course there are complications. So by the second episode, we know that he was just yanking her chain and she doesn't have her way in. But by the end of that episode, she has her way in. You know what I'm saying? She always knows where to be and when. And it's because maybe the writers are jumping through so much time that they're skipping over the moments where she has to figure things out. But for me, that lessens the tension. Not the stakes, it's the drug game. We already know that somebody can die at any time. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really feel like she has to work hard. Even in that first episode, when she walks into the back room so that she can meet at that moment the head guy. And the reason he's going to buy her drugs is because she's a woman. She's not outsmarting him. She's not aggressive. She's not doing anything but existing. And because he's a man, he's all giddy about her being a woman and is just like, touch my nose and I'll let you have anything. So she's a badass because she touched his nose. So I'm supposed to root for her here, right? And so it takes away the tension because we're hearing people say, oh, she's a badass. Oh, she's done, more violent things than anyone else. Oh, she's done this or that. But as we're watching, she gets all of her advice from men. She has men do all of her bidding. She cries a lot and she empathizes a lot. None of those things are negative. It just doesn't show me the badass. Does she make hard decisions? Absolutely. The same decisions that all other drug dealers are making, right? And so I get it. During that time period, people just didn't assume that women even thought like that or could behave like that or could make those decisions. But as we see, she doesn't make those decisions without feeling anything. She doesn't make those decisions even haphazardly. She's concerned. She doesn't want to kill the people. She doesn't want to give permission to possibly kill a child or leave a child without their parents. She's nervous. She's always nervous. And she's always looking to the men around her to save her. The only parts where I feel, and even here, she's not necessarily making the decision all on her own, because now she's got, I'm probably not going to pronounce his name correctly, but she has his boy who she calls for guidance. And so even though the people around her are telling her to choose one thing, everybody always wants her to get out. Everybody's saying, you should get out, you should get out, you should get out. They're giving you an opportunity out. You should take your way out, right? And the only reason that she doesn't is because she has this other guy who's telling her that she can do, whatever she wants. She doesn't have to listen, and it's her world, right? So then she'll make the decision. But again, I'm missing the moments of her being a badass because we're moving very quickly through it. She easily, when the prostitutes come into town, baby, they at the golf club, the country clubs. How they get in there? How did they get in there? She got a yacht. Who paid for this? You're still trying to get people to buy your stuff. You're still giving stuff away for free. How are you doing all of these things? I feel like the writers are skipping over that part. But it's so much so that now, this is a pet peeve of mine, your police officers look stupid. Because it's in episode 2 where the police start to realize that a woman is behind this. She's not even selling drugs yet. Nobody's even bought her drugs. So there are no stakes right now. Y'all are on somebody who's not even doing anything yet. Right? So for me, that happened a little too soon. You got to let her cook a little bit. Let her cook. Let her get into some stuff before the police start to jump on it, because now you're just going to make them look stupid, because they could have been on it from jump and instead they were pushing it to the side. Right? And one of the reasons is because during that time period, which is another reason why they're saying she's such a badass, patriarchy is freaking ridiculous. And it's so ridiculous that a lot of the dialogue is on the nose and cheesy, all because they want to make sure that the men are so dumb so the women can look so smart. But instead, it makes the entire police department look dumb, because you have this woman trying to tell you what's going on and y'all are making jokes about her boobs and telling her she needs to make coffee. And instead of me going, oh man, it was really hard for women back then, I'm going like this. My God, they are really leaning in on this patriarchy, right? There's no nuanced way they could be doing this. Is this the only way that we can show that she's smarter than them? Like, there is a space where, sure, our female cop can be the smartest person in the room, but she's not the only smart person in the room. And for the most part, they make her the only smart person in the room. Here's one of the other tales. When they bring in their very first witness, who's a woman who I guess was working in the place where Griselda went to go meet to do her first deal, where the man said, touch my nose. When she comes in, I assume she works there. That means she's there all the time. That means she's there for all the drug deals. She doesn't mention not one man's name. Not one. The only thing that comes out of her mouth was, there was a woman there. So we just gonna jump straight to it? This woman who you've never seen before, who showed up for the very first time. Okay? You're not gonna mention any of the men who are always there, who are always doing drug deals. You just gonna mention the woman? You're jumping too fast. You have to bury it under the rest of it to show that the female cop is the smart one. You have to talk about this man, this man, this man, this man. These people usually come through. These people usually come through. Today there was a woman, and then this man, this man. And now the female cop is the one who goes, oh, today there was a woman? Oh, well, what kind of woman? But instead it was just straight to it. There was a woman. So we're not going to talk about everybody else. Same thing is true when she does do her dirty work for the first time, and she goes to kill the person who killed all of her, her friends and family and worker member people at her home. She's standing outside the door scared. Look, I appreciate that she's human, but then stop selling me on this badass thing, because I'm not sold. But anyway, she's standing outside of the door scared. There is a witness there looking at her. She looks back at him, goes in, kills the man, and leaves the witness alive. Now, isn't this criminal activity 101? Okay, but then when the man talks to the police, he only mentions the woman. Only mentions the woman. Nobody else. Like nobody else was there. It's too straight to it. It's too on the nose. And so even the music sometimes, which I get, right? I get culturally, I get. But sometimes it lessens the drama because the music is over the top. You know what I'm saying? And, it could even be Tarantino-esque in that. But I'm not feeling the same as I feel when I watch Tarantino movies. You know what I'm saying? I keep waiting on this to just kind of ground me so I can take it all seriously. And I'm not. I even find myself sometimes just kind of drifting off into space and then having to, focus in to figure out what's going on. Oh, another thing that happens really quickly. The bad guys find her really quickly. Again, I'm sure they're jumping through time. I don't know the timeline. But as a viewer who's watching the television show, I'm like, the prostitutes came, and within a day or two, the bad guys knew that Griselda was in Miami. And here they come. And all in the same, now it's the next episode. And now they're going to deal with each other. And I just felt like, let her cook. Let her cook a little bit before we get people looking for her and stuff. And still, I don't care. It don't make no sense that man shot his boss instead of killing that woman. That don't make no sense. Now, obviously, something like that happened in real life because she was able to go on and build her drug empire. But I'm just like, what you kill that man for? You don't owe her nothing. He's a handsome guy, though, so I knew when we met him that we were going to keep seeing some more of him. Okay, happy writing.
The professional pen. The